Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at Jack as the Pumpkin King from the Nightmare Before Christmas line put out by June Planning, Series 1. And let me just start by saying that it's just a tremendous shame to wreck this packaging by opening it up to get the figure. I mean, they really did a nice job in packaging. So often, the box and everything is just there to like hold the figure in or whatever, but very rarely do toy lines go to this extent and really design something that accentuates the figure, which makes the packaging and figure look like a nice display piece in and of itself. Most prominent of which is this really neat looking pumpkin peg hole thing. Look at that, or jack-o'-lantern. It's a very, very neat touch, especially considering this is the Pumpkin King version. Then you have the sort of embossed plastic, molded or whatever, with the little image in the foreground with, the silhouettes of some of the characters. You'll probably recognize the vampires here, I believe, the werewolf, witch, that kid with the little spinny hat, Oogie, and the creature, and some other stuff, in addition to having the really nice backdrop there with a ton of jack-o'-lanterns. And you know what? The figure is not bad either. But yeah, I'm actually sort of dreading opening this up just because when you get it out of the box, I'm just thinking I might not be as happy as I am with it right now. It's kind of always a thing. Now, I did pick this up a little bit cheaper from a sort of going out of business sale for the strawberries or an FYE, which has been going out of business for the past 2 or 3 years now. I mean, either close your doors or take down that sign, folks. Yeah. Hold on a second and I'll break my heart by opening this and getting him out of pack. And here's a better look at the backdrop. I just absolutely love that art style. There's something really nice to it. I figure even if I end up throwing out the outer packaging, which I'm not sure if I want to do right now, though I can't figure out if I'll be able to put everything back in again, I'll definitely at least be saving that insert as a decoration. As for Jack himself, now previously the review spot I think he's covered a few figures from the line, but last year he reviewed a Jack Skellington, and sadly I have to say the joints do kind of suck. The leg popped off almost immediately when I was just goofing around with him, but it does pop back on, although the joint's a lot looser after that. As to the all-important question, can you take the stupid sign off his back? If you can, I haven't figured out how to yet. It looks like you might be able to, but I think it's actually glued in there, and if you look at the instructions, it doesn't actually clarify any way to remove it, so I think it is intended to just stay there. It does explain how to put the stand together. It's a relatively simple process, and I guess that's the extension there. I'm totally goofing around this. Unless this pop, yeah, I guess it's an adjustable height. And that, of course, just fits around his waist or whatever. I think I use that same system for like dolls and stuff, so yeah. Kind of have a jumping pose there. The stand itself is, another coffin-shaped object. All it says is the Nightmare Before Christmas. Imagine several others in the line probably use the same one. He does come with an accessory, kind of, in the form of an interchangeable hand. You just, I think you just pull it off and then put the other one in. Just be careful, because like, the sleeves are kind of brittle. And this is definitely like more of a collector's toy and stuff, just in that so many pieces do sort of seem to kind of break easily, or possibly would break. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. His arm just kind of moves when you do stuff, because the joint's kind of weak. But yeah, if you've ever seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, and if you haven't, it's kind of weird that you're watching this review, although I imagine you might go back and actually watch this movie after it. But, Jack sets himself on fire, then jumps into a fountain to disrobe. If only, changing costumes was that easy. I think for most of us, it's not worth risking the third-degree burns. As for the figure itself, not so much nice paintwork and stuff on the jacket portion. They didn't even really bother doing anything different for the little threads or anything. Well, I'm not sure if they did have it different in the movie. I mean, it looks like there is a bit of shadowing and a bit of different paint, but the straw portions really shine. Definitely have quite a bit more detail there, and then, it's just a really nice sculpted jack-o'-lantern head. Although the eye slits are kind of uneven and everything. Less flattering is just the fact that his little billboard here is this glossy plastic, which doesn't even remotely look close to a material like wood. It really detracts from the rest of the outfit, and the fact that you can't remove it is more than a little irritating. Now, the character, of course, will have some difficulties standing on his own, which is one reason why they obviously included the stand. I mean, he's just got really thin limbs, and then, once the leg pops out, yeah, joints just never have the same strength again. You'll notice that he even has like little toe movement there, because he can totally stand in the first place to actually make use of that. Quick run through of articulation while I'm at it. You have ball and sockets at the wrist. The twig hands are really cool. Again, I wish they hadn't used such glossy plastic for it. It's also kind of similar tone to the jacket, which I'm not that fond of. We have a single pin joint here at the elbow. Shoulder joint. It would look like we have bicep rotation, but we actually don't. It's just the sculpt, which does look neat. Head rotates, has some board back, whatever. I'm not sure if it's actually intentional, but it looks like the actual neck portion can move. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. I don't know. Then we have a Chris Horn, we had a torso joint. But we don't. We do not have a torso joint. Leg is on a physical ball, as you've seen. It doesn't have a lot of outward motion. And the arms, of course, have a really tremendous range and everything. And then at the knee, single joint. It really can go a fair distance forward. I guess just due to the sculpt and everything. It's kind of kooky, but the character was sort of known for really spastic poses, which does make it a bit of a shame that his leg can't go out a bit further. I don't know. Well, look, it does go out further. It goes out a lot further. But at the same time, down here at the ankle, it doesn't look like we have any movement. I'm learning about this part at the same time as you guys do, but we do have a little bit of toe motion, so, all in all, I liked him a lot better in box. Much better in box, but he does make... Alright, where was I before my camera's memory card ended up running out of space and I lost the last 2 minutes worth of footage? Right, I was just commenting on the fact that, this is the kind of figure that does kind of look and work better in package, and, Honestly, given the fact that this character only had this costume and used this costume for about 5 seconds of the movie, I honestly wouldn't call it the most essential item out there for the Nightmare Before Christmas line, although it is a pretty wicked display piece. And when you set yourself on fire and jump into a fountain, that tends to leave an impression on people. The one sort of big drawback that personally annoys me is just the fact you can't remove the sign, because it looks like it'd be kind of a simple thing to have allowed people to do. And of course, this little piece here is all glued in, so that does bug me a little bit. The fact that the joints just randomly fly off is also a source of irritation, although, he does have a decent array of joints, and you can kind of get like the sort of cool articulation you want, although for the most part he does kind of require the stand. And you know, stands kind of stick out like that. They're not as display neutral as just having like a base or something. I like this. I mean, I'm sure it's not probably everybody's cup of tea, but you know, it was one of the things that sort of most jumped out at me from the stuff that they had in the very small amount of selection that was left there. Whee! Now he's flying. This could probably fall. But yeah, this has been a look at the Pumpkin King version of Jack Skellington from the Nightmare Before Christmas, the June planning line, Series 1. Is there a Series 2? I don't know. I suppose I could probably look that up. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll even toss it in an annotation. Who knows? Shadow does. Ha 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 ha. But no, seriously, kind of cool figure. Sort of satisfied with him. Definitely will be using him in a display somehow, somewhere, something. Watch just a review